What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Aha. And we're returning for the first of 3 alternative mixes/versions on the end of the first disc of Lifelines Deluxe 2019, original album 2002. And actually, I'm quite intrigued by the third of those alternative versions because it's by Apoptygma Berserk, a group I did react to some of their original tunes for a couple years ago because one of the people sharing music with me, Adam, had them in his catalog. I was intrigued by the name. He mentioned, oh, they're actually Norwegian and they use a lot of electronic sounds. So way back when I reacted to some A-pop, as apparently they're called by fans, tunes. So I'm keen to hear what that one will be. But before we get there, we have 2 more. And the first of the 3 is the Tore but I'm guessing Tore Johanson mix of Did Anyone Approach You? So I don't know if he's a proper remix artist. Maybe he's just a producer in the same way that it was the Mark Saunders remix of Foot of the Mountain. So yes, ultimately I don't know the identity of the person behind this particular version, but the album track is very intriguing to me. In some ways it feels like a more typical Aha tune in that there's some sweep to it and some celestial vocals from Morton, but there's also a not down-tempo, but very atypical aspect to it as well, a spoken word type of delivery in parts, a computerish bleep type of melody, so it's a tune that has some different facets, and it ultimately is both very Aha and less Aha, at least to my ears and brain, so I'm keen to hear how this version might vary or how it might differ, so let's give it a listen. This is the Tore, perhaps Tore, but I'm going to say Tore Johanson mix of Did Anyone Approach You, a tune from their 2002 Lifelines album. Definitely a different feel already.
some things now. Did anyone approach you? Did anybody coach you? Did anybody tell you what to say now? Hopeless, it's not hopeless. Doubtful, but not
Is it very slowly fading? I felt like it was starting to fade 20 to 30 seconds before I asked that question, but then I kept talking myself out of that possibility until eventually it was clearly fading. But yeah, a really crazy remix, or I suppose it's just a mix, which makes me wonder if this was something that was toyed with in the process of developing the tune. Either way, it's fascinating. Like, it feels more of an organic tune in terms of the instrumentation, although having said that, there's that notable theremin style layer in the latter half which really stands out, and in the original version, the little flourish that's sort of like a computer bleep, like I was saying, and this version has a more metallic, tinny type of sound. But aside from that, it felt like this space jazz meets lo-fi hip-hop type of arrangement, which I like lo-fi hip-hop and space jazz, so that is in no way a critique, but it did feel like less of an Aha song. So fair to say, I think I prefer the album version, in part just because I think Morton's vocals and the fuller sound of the chorus, and I think pre-chorus, either way, the bigger parts of the original version of the tune hit harder and with more emotion. Though I will say the parts with the spoken vocals, even if sonically they're arranged differently, those feel more similar to the album version of the track. But overall, again, it had a less electronic sound, minus or notwithstanding the theremin type part. But yeah, it had a sort of jazzy groove to it, a mellow walking on the streets kind of feel. And I think that Morton's vocals in the spoken part, they sounded more like they do in the album version, which again already sounds like it has an effect on it. But his bigger sweeping vocals definitely felt like there was a filter or an effect in this version that is not on the album track. So yes, in the world of techno and trance, there are many releases where you get the normal or original mix of the tune and then like 2 or 3 other versions all on the same EP. And in many cases in my collection of trance and techno, there are releases where it's like, man, I love the original, but I love this very different remix, sort of, if not equally, certainly both considerably. And I think this is a really compelling version, even if I do, if forced to make this comparison, prefer the album version of the track. So it's very different, but I don't think it's bad, and I don't think, even if it sounds less like Aha, that it's less interesting for that fact. It just sounds like someone taking an Aha tune and putting their own spin on it, which I suppose is the character or the nature of doing remixes or alternative versions of a track. But yeah, it was really interesting, if more distinct from the album version than I expected. So yeah, that was a cool track, and I'm keen to hear the other 2 remixes, or I think one is considered an alternative version, one I think is a remix, and again, the A-pop remix I'm especially looking forward to, just because I do have a little bit of a basis for what they sound like. So the idea of them taking an Aha tune seems, number one, fitting since they're both Norwegian, but number two, they have a different enough sound in the early 2000s, because I think that is the era of the A-pop stuff I reacted to, so I'm especially keen to hear that. But yeah, in any case, let me know what you think of this, and I will see you next time. Peace.